hope you've had a wonderful start to the week, and can you imagine, we're almost in mid-December. Only a few more weeks to go. Time is passing quickly, isn't it? All right, Monday, December 11th, 2023, Board of Education regular monthly meeting is now in session. We will have our pledge. Let me. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I do want to say the room looks very nice, Dr. Pratt. I love the pictures up on the wall of our students. It brings life to the boardroom. Looks very good. Okay, we'll begin with reorganization of the board. Dr. Pratt.
The first order of business is the election of the chair. As a reminder, nominations do not require a second. Do I hear nominations for the office of board chair?
Mr. Superintendent, I'd like to nominate Mr. Eddie Hall.
Are there any other nominations?
Mr. Superintendent, I make a motion that the nominations be closed on state one name.
So moved. The motion is to accept the nomination of Mr. Eddie Hall by affirmation as board chair. Is there a motion?
I make that motion, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
So
So
moved.
moved. I got a second, sorry. Are there any? All right, a minimum motion, any? Yes, so I'm just making sure I'm doing this right, I'm sorry. The motion is made in second. A motion has been made in second and accepted the nomination of Eddie Hall for chair. All in favor? Say aye. Any opposed? I will now pass. Congratulations, Mr. Eddie Hall, you're now chair of the Board of Education. And I turn the meeting over to Mr. Eddie Hall for election of the vice chair.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, man. Didn't wait no.
The next order of business is the election of the vice chair. As a reminder, nominations do not require a second. Do I hear nominations for the office of vice chair?
I nominated this time Mr. Wendell Hall.
Are there any other nominations? Hearing none, the nominations are closed. The nomination of vice chair from Mr. Wendell Hall, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Hall, Vice Chair Hall.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, no,
All right, at this time, we have the consideration of the minutes from our November 27, 2023 regularly scheduled meeting. Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second, Chair, second.
All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. At this time, we'll have our student recognitions by Ms. Tanya Freeman.
Good evening, Chair Porter. Sorry. Good evening, Chair Hall, members of the board, and Dr. Pratt. Tonight, we would like to recognize the mighty Hertford County High School varsity Bears. We have any Bears in the building tonight? Can you please come forward? Some of our varsity Bears are playing game tonight, an away game, a basketball game in Plymouth, and also some are working on tonight. So all of them unfortunately could not join us on tonight. But we would like to extend a heartfelt congratulations to Hertford County High School varsity football team for an outstanding football season. The Bears concluded the season with an impressive 10-3 overall record and secured the remarkable position of second in the conference standings. Let's give them a round of applause. We're going to have a few words from Coach Gatlin, and then we're going to hear from our board.
Hey, Rock. Chair Hall, distinguished board, superintendent, and all the administration and staff. We are so honored that you recognize these student athletes on behalf of Hertford County football team, the coaching staff. We just want to say thank you. It's been a remarkable year. Matter of fact, we led the state after our first loss to Tarboro. And I told the team that we are better than 24 points, and we should not score less than 36 points a game. And they averaged the state of North Carolina 56 points per game for the 2023 season. On this Saturday, 3 of the athletes will play two will play in the North Carolina, South Carolina bowl game in Greenville. On Sunday, the quarterback will play at the East-West All-Star game in Greensboro this weekend. So on behalf of the Hertford County football team, we want to just thank you for this recognition. And congratulations to our student athletes.
Thank you, Mr. Gatlin. Certainly, we are definitely proud of our students in the season that they had. Also, Mr. Gatlin, before you leave, we would like to extend a thank you to you as well, because for all that don't know, we did start the season up without a football coach. And Mr. Gatlin so graciously stepped in and led our team to this. So Mr. Gatlin, for that, we also want to thank you as well. And we're certainly proud of our students and all that they do. Fellow board members, do you have any further comments?
Chair Hall, if I may, did the young men have anything that they want to say? You was out there on that field. I saw you. I clapped for you in front of my computer. You didn't hear me, but I clapped for you. Can we hear from them as to the season and what did it do for you as a student athlete?
I will share, Mr. Alden. Both of these young men were starters and suffered injuries. Linwood was the linebacker and got hurt in the Northeastern game, and partially tore his MCL. Before Wayne's Free Trail, he was running back. His injury, he was the leading rusher actually before he went out, and that just shows the tenacity and the depth that we had as a team. That when one went down, the other one stepped up. But they played a major role in the success of this season.
Well, that says it all for me. That says it all for me. And I thank you. I thank you for representing as a board member and as a citizen of this county more than anything else. I want to thank you and your colleagues for a tremendous year. You don't know how proud I was going to Raleigh bragging off of you. And especially when we went down, one of my seatmates at the state board, Reggie Kingman. He's a lawyer up in Duplin County. And he believed in Wallace Rose Hill until those Bears got to town. Yeah. And I was with him this past week, and he was telling me, "You didn't call me that night." I said, "No, I was waiting for you to call me because I knew you had taken a good whipping." And I was proud of these young men, and by the way, proud of them because of how they perform on the field. We are getting a lot of complaints today across the state that our student athletes, and by the way, student athletes, not athlete students. student athletes are running the miles, fighting, causing this. That didn't happen with the Bears. We just showed up and took care of the job and got back on the bus and came on back home. And I'm more proud of that than anything. Suspensions, you know, we are recognized each and every year, our athletes, the least one who are suspended throughout this state on different teams. And that says a lot about coaching and about these kids performing. And what a year. What a year. And I watched the 4 teams that played the weekend.
Oh, yeah.
Glad for them. Glad for them. I'm glad for them. But I can tell you this. I would have loved to have seen those Bears on that field against at least 2 of them.
Could have played with all 4.
Well, anyway, another year coming. Another year coming. Are these juniors, seniors?
One's the same.
Senior, one sophomore.
Okay, well, I got 2 years to see you.
But since you mentioned Wallace Rose Hill, at practice, WITN called me in front of the team, actually, and answered the cell phone, and he wanted to know how do we feel about playing Wallace Rose Hill in that parental power. So I said to him on the team, how do they feel about playing Hertford County? Who's
That's right.
traditional winning program also.
That's right.
So he says, I don't believe we played Hertford County before. I said, you did, but you wouldn't remember we beat you 3 times in a row.
Well, thank you so much.
Board members, do you mind taking a picture with the outcome?
Don't need no.
I would also like to thank, Coach, I want to call him, what he was.
He was a coach, yeah.
Mr. Gavin, thank you so much for stepping in.
Yes, yes.
And taking them so far. And to the young man, thank you. I went to the games. I enjoyed seeing you play. And you kept it very exciting. So good job for you and your 2 teammates. Thank you, Mr. Gavin.
One, 2, and 3. One more. 1, 2. Thank you.
No, wait, it's a same show. That's good. That's good. Wait, I'm through.
I think he- Yeah, I think you had your program already.
Do we have any public input?
Yes, sir.
At this time, we'll be moving to 3.1, our academics update with our Assistant Superintendent, Ms. Chanel Sidbury.
Good evening, Chair Hall, board members, Dr. Pratt. I'm Chanel Sidbury, as mentioned. I'm here with Mrs. Allie Evans, and we are here to present to you our academic data insights and update with Q1. Here we have our mission. This again gives us insight on how we continue to make Hertford County Public Schools globally competitive and also help our students with diverse learning opportunities. Tonight's presentation focuses on strategic plan goal 1 and 2, which focuses on 55% or greater in terms of a district performance, as well as all of our students meeting or exceeding growth for the year. This gives you insights on where we are with meeting that 55 mark for Q1, knowing that we have 3 more grade quarters to go. So first, we'll take a look at our academic celebrations. This slide gives you insight where you can see our honor roll for A and AB honor roll. You see each grade span, the specifics there as well as overall. So AES has 31.3% of their students in the A or AB honor roll. BPS has 39.2% of their students in the A honor roll or AB honor roll. RES has 25.8%. We also have our secondary numbers here as well, with Hertford County Middle School having students, 16.9% of their students making A or AB honor roll. We have 26.3% of Hertford County High School students making A or AB honor roll. 89.7% of students in Hertford County early college making A or AB honor roll. And at CS Brown STEM School, 36.1% of our students are making A's or AB honor roll. So congratulations to our students. This chart shows you the grade distribution over the span of 3 years. You'll see there's 3 bars in the first 2 columns. Bar 0 is noted overall for the year, the overall average of A's, B's, C's, D's, and F's categorized by those colors. And then you see the number 1 and number 2s, those give you the qualifying grades in Q1 and Q2. So you have 0, which is overall for the year, 1 is Q1, and 2 being Q2. And if you look at 23-24, you will see that roughly 59% of our students in Q1 have A's or B's, and you see that that is comparable with the previous years for both the 21-22 school year as well as the 22-23 school year. So we have roughly 68% of our students are in good academic standing. In 21-22, there was 63% of students in academic standing, good academic standing, sorry. And in 22-23, 66%. So it's a 2% increase from the previous year, as well as a 5% increase from the 21-22 school year. This next 4 slides just give you an overall snapshot of how well our students are at passing in our academic core areas. You'll see the darker the shade of blue, the more successful students are in those courses. And as you look at last year in comparison to this year, you see that overall we are moving in the right direction. So this is our ELA overall pass rate. This is our mathematics overall pass rate. And we see some areas of need in both 6th grade as well as 7th grade. And I'll talk to you exactly about what we're doing to address those needs. And we also have our science overall success rate. You see that there are a few areas where that shade of blue is getting just a little lighter. And we're going to talk to you about what students who are in academic risk, what type of supports that they have in our schools. And then also you see just a little bit of shade of decrease, primarily in our 9th grade. We know that that is our world course. And so we know that students are getting acclimated to the new academic standards of high school. And that freshman year is a little difficult, but we're going to talk explicitly about what we're doing to support our students who are academically at risk. Overall, we're very excited about the students' progress. The next few slides take a look at just what I just told you about the students who are in academic at risk, meaning students who have D's or F's. And we're going to talk a little bit about what each school is doing to support in those areas. First, we have AES. You see AES, we are comparing the 22-23 school year to the 23-24 school year. AES has had a reduction in students who are academically at risk in 2 of 4 core areas. AES is supporting their students by having them attend extended learning program. There are standards-based remediation during the class block and gap remediation during their WIN block. The school talked with parents about their child's performance at report card pickup and progress report pickup. Students have been given extended time when assignments are not completed on time, and students are allowed to retest, and teachers record the highest grade in their grade books. Next, we have a comparison for BPS. We see BPS is having a reduction in academically at-risk students in 2 of 4 subject areas. At BPS, of course, students have the extended learning program. That program began, that program began on November the 28th. At BPS, they have small group interventions with their reading coaches, and they reteach in small groups using the red item analysis. Each of the small groups provide additional support both during the day as well as the extended learning program. Next, we have RES. At RES, we see an overall reduction in academically at-risk students in 1 of 4 subject areas. At RES, they're currently providing daytime tutoring and after-school tutoring with their extended learning program. They have a quarterly data day, weekly PLC meetings with DPI and their coaches to analyze benchmark data, track student progress, and look at overall standard deficiencies and planning next steps. RES also utilizes computer-based resources and programs to assist, such as STAR, and they provide intervention and small group instruction incorporated throughout their daily schedule. In addition, principals and administration do walkthrough to provide additional support with teachers weekly, and they have regular parent communication to inform parents what they can continue to do to support their students at home. Excuse me. At Hertford County Middle School, we see a reduction in academically at-risk students in 3 of 4 subject areas. At Hertford County Middle School, they have the extended learning program after school, which is 2 days a week. Teachers provide whole team parent teacher student conferences where they talk about the students' academic and behavior success. They have daytime tutors that come to the school, and they also have targeted small group instruction and leadership provided by the MCL coach. At CS Brown STEM, there is a reduction in academically at-risk students in 2 of 4 subject areas. At CS Brown STEM, they support their academically at-risk students by using data to revise their intervention implementation, which happens during the day. They partner with a math teacher from Hertford County High School to provide additional areas of support in mathematics. They have the extended learning program on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, where students can get additional support after school. And they provide academic interventions during a 30-minute intervention block, which is designated during that time of the day. CS Brown continues to monitor and assess their MTSS framework in both SEL, socio-emotional learning, academics, and behavior. Next, we have Hertford County High School, Hertford County Early College High School. Hertford County Early College has seen a reduction in academically at-risk students in 3 of 4 content areas. This school provides and continues to monitor and provide supports to students who are earning Ds and Fs via their after-school tutoring. This happens on Wednesdays and Thursdays at Hertford County Early College, and teachers continue to work with students during this time to provide remediation as well as retesting as appropriate. And then last but not least, we have Hertford County High School. Hertford County High School has a reduction in academically at-risk students in 4 of 4 subject areas. Hertford County High School provides after-school tutoring as well during their extended learning program. This occurs twice a week. They also have a 30-minute intervention block time during the day where they collaborate, make sure that students have additional support, as well as continue to collaborate with DPI in the areas of mathematics to increase their math pedagogy. So this is an overall look at our students in terms of their success in their courses, their areas of risk where we have students who need support, and also an insight on what we are doing proactively to support students. Again, this is just Q1, we're in Q2, so we have a long time to intervene, and the good thing is that we have structures and supports in place right now. Right now, I'm going to turn it over to Mrs. Evans. She's going to give you insight on our standardized testing and standardized benchmark, which gives you an idea of how well we're progressing towards our standard space goals that we have. Evans?
Good evening, Board Chair Hall, Vice Chair Hall, Board of Education members, and Dr. Pratt. My name is Allie Evans, and I am sharing insights into our benchmark data. MClass is a DPI required assessment tool used to evaluate and track students' progress in the areas of reading in grades K through 3. It provides detailed real-time data that allows us to identify individual student needs, monitor their progress over time, and implement targeted interventions. This tool is instrumental in helping teachers tailor their instruction to improve student outcomes. Looking at this report, we are comparing how our students are performing from beginning of year 22-23 to beginning of year 23-24 in grades K through 3. According to this data, most students are performing at or above benchmarks compared to last year, with 17% of students performing above benchmark and 15% of students performing at benchmark. We also see fewer students well below benchmark as compared to the 22-23 school year. In kindergarten, we have a 9 percentage points increase in levels blue and green. In first grade, we have a 6 percentage points decrease in blue and green. In second grade, a 20 percentage points increase in blue and green. And in third grade, a 4 percentage points increase in blue and green. Here we have a report on how our cohort of students are performing and if they are responding to instruction or interventions. Overall, we see progress in moving students out of the red who are identified as well below benchmark. So fewer students are remaining well below benchmark by the second benchmark, which is comparable with the state data, which you can see at the very bottom. Here we have a report of our composite scores between benchmark reporting year to year. Again, we're comparing BOY 22-23 to beginning of year 23-24. Again, we see an increase in performance in 3 out of our 4 grade levels and an overall improvement in the mean score of 27.1. Kindergarten has a 9.58 percentage points increase in their composite score. First grade has a 0.6 percentage decrease in their composite score. Second grade, a 15.17 percentage points increase in their composite score. And third grade shows a 2.91 percentage point increase in their composite score. Along with our K-3 M class, we also have our students benchmarking across grade levels 3 through 12. On the next few slides, we will see how our schools are performing. Again, beginning of year 22-23 as compared to beginning of year 23-24. Grades 3 through 12 use a standardized benchmark that provides insight into how our students are mastering their standards at 3 interval points throughout the year. At our elementary schools, we see improvements in their benchmarks in 10 out of 14 areas in comparison to last school year. This data allows us to continue to see progress towards our school year goals. And currently, we are seeing that we're on pace to meet our school year goals in 4 out of 14 areas. At our middle school, we see a notable improvement across all tested areas from BOY 22-23 to BOY 23-24. So kudos to Principal Deloach and the Hertford County Middle School staff on their hard work this year so far. Also, we see that we are on pace in 2 out of 7 scores for the year so far. Finally, at our high schools, we currently have an increase in benchmarks in 6 out of 7 areas from last year to this year. And we see we are on pace in 1 out of one of our areas, as it has already met 23-24 goals out of 7. Next, Ms. Sidbury will share how our schools are responding to this data.
So overall, you see that our schools are making adequate progress. We're making progress in terms of where we are in comparison to last year. One of the standardized supports that we provided for all EOG and EOC teachers was to have a district PLC. We met with all of our teachers virtually. They were with their teams. We analyzed the data in terms of our benchmark to determine what questions students did not fully understand and why did they not fully understand them. We also broke that down to what standards do students not fully understand and what is the misconception that we need to reteach. Ryan, can you click on a BPS third grade for me, please? I'm just going to show you an example of what these plans look like. Each of our schools met collaboratively and gave each other feedback on the quality of their plans based on certain criteria. So as you can see at a glance, teachers had to think about what essential skills were they analyzing, what does the report in the data mean to them? If you scroll down a little bit for us, Ryan. You can keep going. And then we asked them to identify their patterns. What's the skill and knowledge that students did really well on? Who are the students that perform successfully and what we're going to do to continue to enrich them. Instead of immediately going to what students don't know, we want to uplift the things that students are successful on first. And if you would go down just a little bit further, after we think about what students are doing successfully, then we want to talk about what knowledge and skills that students need to support on and what are going to be the instructional strategies that we focus on. If you scroll down just a little bit more, Ryan, thank you so much. So each grade level team met together to learn what is the focus for ELA, what is the focus in math, and what is our plan of action. So every school dug deep into their data to not just look at the questions, but to understand what is it that students really need to focus on in order to really master this content. They've developed these plans and begin enacting them in our after-school tutorials, as well as our interventions that we have standard in all of our schools. Thank you, Ryan. So as a district, we're going to continue to focus on the high impact teaching strategies, which are the HITs, with a focus on explicit teaching and feedback. We have our monthly instructional rounds, which are in the place of principals meetings, where all leaders go into the buildings and look at high quality teaching and learning and calibrate each other's feedback. We have the quarterly reviews that happen with all schools, but we also have our response, where the curriculum and instruction team, as well as various departments, identified areas where they'll continue to focus and provide support for schools. We have our universal data analysis tools, which were used to develop these plans for our schools. We have a standardized way that we analyze our data so that we fully understand what we must reteach. We have ongoing professional learning, as well as our early learning coordinator, which has adjusted her calendar to support 3 full days at Bearfield to provide additional support in the third grade in the areas of need, as well as our K3, K2. We have upcoming benchmarks, which are happening right now for high school, as well as our MOI benchmarks, which will give the board another data point in late February, early March, that will let us see how we've made progress from now up until then. And we also welcome an opportunity for a work session in the future with our board, so we can dig a little bit deeper into this data and talk a little bit more about the state of academics. At each of our schools, we have extended learning opportunities, which you have heard about. Every school has an after-school program with specific tailored resources and supports that are designed to help students with small group instruction. We have our NC Ed Corps tutors, which are at our elementary schools, which provides small group instruction. We have our school level reteaching plans, which I just showed you one example at our wonderful Bearfield plan that they've developed. We also have an individual student services support plan. I don't want to belabor, but I do want to show the board. Ryan, if you can click on AES. We're using AES as an exemplar today. Met with student services to develop a plan of action based on the SEL data that I brought to the board previously. So every school analyzed their individual data and made a plan of action. They're going to be doing small groups for emotional regulation at AES. They're going to have counselor-led lessons in the day, and they're going to continue to have DARE with support. So each school, in terms of student support services, they developed a plan of action to think about how we will respond to our student emotional needs that also are the foundation to academics. Thank you, Ryan. And in addition to all of that, we continue to have ongoing conversations, developed a guide for our leaders to share with our teachers so that they can have specific conversations around EVOS and the teacher effectiveness, as well as ongoing professional learning. So we're excited about the progress that we see. We want to say thank you to our principals, our leaders, our teachers, as well as the support of the board, as well as the outstanding leadership of Dr. Jessie Pratt. And that is our update on our academic progress. Thank you so much. I'll take no questions.
Are there any comments or questions, board?
Yes, so. Ms. Sidbury and Ms. Evans, first of all, I'll be the first to say, I'm not happy about the data where we've been in the past. We understand that. Looking at what you have given us, it looks like from the benchmark data that you've done that we're moving forward.
That's correct.
And I read this where in the K5 benchmark data results, increased composite scores of 10 out of 14 areas. 6 to 8 benchmark data, increased composite score of 7 out of 7 areas. high school benchmark data results, an increase of 6 out of 7.
Yes, sir.
If that continues, what is our expectation for the end of the year? That's one question, then I got to follow up, okay? The other thing I wanted to know, and I guess I asked to follow up now, is how, I heard you talk about administrators planning, teachers planning, and all these plans going on, to look at the data, to analyze the data, to plan where they're going. How did you find the time to do this? And for teachers to use that time teaching in the classroom as well? That I'm interested in that.
Okay. For the first question, I think we'll find that we will meet our annual goals. Now, there's a lot of other things that come into the recipe of a letter grade of a school, in particular at a comprehensive high school. So we can't say that, you know, we're going to be off low performing, or this is going to happen or that is going to happen. But we are on track to meet our annual goals. If we continue with this momentum, we'll be on track to meet our annual goals. So that's number one. Number two, we made the time. We reserved time. I think we reserved 3 days in a row coming out of Thanksgiving break. We didn't want teachers to have to drive all over the district. And so with the leadership of IT and Mr. Grimes and Mr. Bennick's support, we set up cameras at the school, had everyone kind of zoom in, made sure our audio was working so that we can talk across schools. So basically teachers were in their PLCs with the cameras on. I was leading the discussion. We had professional learning from our vendor that helped teachers really understand the items, the questions, the tests. They got to ask as many questions as they wanted. And then teachers had a full day that they can go back and analyze the data on their own. Once they knew how to understand the data, they did it on their own. And then that third day, they came back and said, here's our plan. And so high school got to give the middle school feedback. The middle school got to give the high school feedback. They got to hear and talk about what it means to be proficient at each grade level. And from the feedback from the teachers, they really appreciated and felt valued in that time. We're going to look, they did not like being virtual. So we're going to look to, they gave me that feedback already. And so we're going to attempt to do this in the MOI face-to-face and make sure we have some good little treats there for them and honor their time.
One of the things I've always heard from teachers about progress is finding the time to do what needs to be done. It seems to me that you all have mastered the way to get this done. I commend you all for doing that, and just want to say that to you and the staff and to everybody for working together on this. I think that's a good idea. Let's hope and see what happens. We are looking at letter grades, we're looking at performance, we're looking at the whole shebang thing. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Blow. Any other comments or questions, board?
I appreciate the feedback, and Dr. Pratt had shared some with us, but tonight we could even see more of it in depth. So we thank you, principals, everybody involved. And as when I sat in on one of your sessions, and I spoke with you and Dr. Pratt, there's no way for us, because you're constantly giving feedback. It's not where you visit a school, go back next year, but you're going, you know, every so once a month, whatever. But you're constantly giving feedback positive. And I could see how relaxed the administrator was. It wasn't a got you thing. It was, we are all in this together. And that's the only way it can be accomplished. We are all here. We know we need to improve. But I commend central office, Superintendent Pratt, our administrators, everybody involved, because the district is showing now that we are all in this together. Everybody helping each other. And I like the cross section where middle school, high school giving feedback to each other. It means a lot. So thank you. Thank you, Dr. Pratt.
If there are no comments or questions, thank you, Ms. Seabury.
Thank you.
At this time, we'll move on to 3.2, the adult high school partnership with Ronchon Community College. Dr. Pratt.
Yes, good evening. This evening we have yet another wonderful opportunity to partner with RCCC. This is for the adult high school program. This is a program or agreement between the community college and the Board of Education to offer classes for a diploma for kids who are over 16 of years of age, but do not find themselves connecting with the traditional educational setting. It gives them opportunity to go to the community college, take courses, and earn a high school diploma while they're doing it. It also allows them an opportunity to make connections at RCCC. So when they're ready to take college courses, they're able to take those college courses as well. When we were out knocking on doors, one of the things that kids told us, that, well, we just don't want to go to the high school. We don't want to do this. But we didn't really have options for those kids in our district. And this really provides them an option. And so for tonight, I'm bringing for your approval, the approval with the partnership with the RCCC to offer the adult education program.
Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, just a question for Dr. Pratt concerning the, really, I thought was a Husky something school.
Right.
I said, we got another school.
Right.
But anyway, my question is, and I just need to have this, what is the difference in this and GED?
The difference is you get a high school diploma.
Get a high school diploma.
Correct.
And not a certificate.
And not a certificate or a GED.
Okay.
Mhm.
And these individuals who take advantage of this new collaboration between the community college and the school,
Mhm.
they are enrolled in, all the data is maintained at,
RCCC.
okay, but they're enrolled in Hertford County Public Schools.
So all the information and the data is with RCCC. They're not enrolled here at the school district. They are now students of RCCC.
Oh, well, I thought maybe they became a part of our ADM county.
I was thinking the same thing.
No.
Well,
Yes,
that's
sir.
a whole nother picture on it for me.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right.
No, sir.
Uh,
And this is
Just
our
fine.
right.
Just fine.
This is our last option. So we probably left about 40 kids out there without any option, didn't decide to come back this school year. But if we had this option, at least we'll have them somewhere
Yeah.
and they're able to get a high school diploma, not a GED, a
Right.
high school diploma, and then be in an environment that they then can encourage them. How about taking a trade? How about doing this? How about taking a college course? So it's a unique opportunity and a great partnership for them to be involved in not as a structure environment as we have at the comprehensive high school.
Now, if I read correctly, the curriculum is our curriculum?
Correct. It has to be the curriculum approved by the state board in order to get the diploma.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's a partnership. It's
Correct.
between the board and RCC
Correct.
for us to offer the diploma. Even
Well, I
though we
think it's a
don't
great
get the
idea.
ADM.
Yeah, I know, well, I was hoping that ADM county
Right.
would fall in there, but I understand.
Yes,
But I think it's a great opportunity
yes, it is.
for our citizens to come back. And it's a difference when you say you got a high school diploma. It is. I'm not taking anything from a GED. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying a diploma says something a little bit more.
Mhm.
But in this case, of course, it's the same curriculum
That's right.
per se. 22 units.
22 units, yeah, so 22 units. I'm getting confused on
Right.
units now. 22, 21. Yeah.
But when you look at me, I thought I was confused.
Yeah, 22 for the state requirement, yes, sir.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And a part of that with 24 and 25 is going to be this new requirement for computer skills.
Yes, sir.
And we've already identified what courses they're going to take.
For our students or the students at RCC?
Well, they will be our students. I mean, as far as the curriculum is concerned.
Right. Yeah, so RCC is responsible for creating those courses and making sure they have the right credit courses, just like we as a board, they will
Great idea.
facilitate that process.
Great idea. I just want to make sure, because somebody's going to ask me.
Right.
And I don't want to confuse them, but so much.
Right. Adult high school diploma.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's called just providing opportunities for.
Right. Access
That's all.
to opportunity.
That's all. It's equity.
Mhm.
So
That's right. We getting there.
I don't know where you sliding it in there. But it is.
We getting there, yes, sir.
Yes, and I'm proud of that fact.
Yeah.
I don't know if I know of another system doing it right now. It could be.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
There's some.
116.
But you know, our kids need options.
Yes.
When I knocked on the doors and talked to some of the families, this will be a great option for some of our families.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
Mr. Hall, this should also decrease our dropout rate too, right?
correct.
Cause these kids that graduate with a high school diploma, then they're gonna be, they'll have a high school diploma and won't be considered a dropout. Is that correct?
Correct, and because this is approved program that you guys approved, it's approved as a transfer to another, like they're transferring to another PSU. But they're going to the community college, so it won't be on the dropout report.
Still go for that ADM though, right,
Yeah.
Mr. Hall?
I hung up on it, AD.
I understand that. I understand.
Yes, sir.
If I may, Dr. Pratt, I love the idea of the program. I'm going back to what Mr. Paul said.
Mhm.
And Mr. Shield, is there a way, and I'm gonna ask this because I've been thinking while you were doing this.
Mhm.
Is there a way they can be considered on our ADM in August? And at the end of August, they'd be considered on there so they can get EFTs, because they're looking at EFTs, that's what they're looking at.
Right.
I mean, if those kids left us in August, they're still on our ADM, is that right?
Correct, as a W
And
two.
then if they went over there, what would they do for them? When they be on the EFTs over there? When they get credit for that?
I don't know when they will pick up the credit at the community college, but if they're enrolled, they probably get the FTEs.
That's what I'm thinking.
Mhm.
So what I'm saying is there a possibility that we can do that?
I will have to check.
Okay.
Um,
I mean,
yeah,
we need to try to keep the enrollment if we can.
and most of the kids that we've identified for this program are kids who haven't been with us for several years.
Right.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years, and that's out there that we have another option that we can go back and.
And all we would have to do is enroll them in August.
That's it.
And then at the end of August, they go over there. That's it. I mean, that's it. A child can drop out of school anytime they want to.
Anytime they want
So
to.
we don't have any control over that.
No, and this will be an option for them.
There
as
you
well.
go, there you go.
That's it.
And we would get ADM credit.
Yes.
Mr. Hall hit the nail on the head. It's another opportunity for children of Hertford County.
That's all.
Oh, yeah.
And that's our job. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
our job to educate children. And I'd rather them graduate from our high school, but if they get a diploma, boy, isn't that a great, isn't that a great opportunity?
Yeah.
That they're not gonna get anywhere else.
Yes. It's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely.
They gonna get a diploma? That's great.
But may I add quickly, as you well know, there's discussion underway to raise the dropout
Well, yeah.
age
Mhm.
to 18. So from 16 to 18. So here again, this is another bill to help that child who's already thinking about, person,
Mhm.
who's already thinking about it.
That's right.
As soon as I get 18, well.
Yeah.
You know, you're becoming an adult now.
Mhm.
We have something for you.
We have something for you.
We got something for you.
Mhm.
And 18 gonna come, there's no doubt about it. If they're gonna move towards that 18 age limit.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If there are no other questions or comments, do I have a motion to approve the recommendation coming from administration concerning the adult high school partnership with RCCC?
So motion.
I have a motion been properly second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Dr. Pratt.
So when will this start?
It's
sorry.
in the spring.
In the spring?
Spring to early summer. They're getting their stuff organized over at the university to begin that process of accepting kids.
At this time, we'll move to 4.1, our personnel report by Dr. Perry Hicks.
Congratulations, Chair Hall. And good evening to Vice Chair, to the board, and Dr. Pratt. Tonight, I'd like to come, I'm seeking your approval of the personnel report.
Are there any questions or comments about the personnel report? If none, do I have a motion to approve the personnel report as presented by administration?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion that we approve the personnel report as being presented by administration.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Second, the motion is second, all in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion has been carried.
Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, safe, orderly, and efficient schools, 5.1, activity buses, Ms. Quinn.
Good evening, Chair Hall, members of the board, and Dr. Pratt. Tonight, myself and mechanic Mr. Pitt are going to share with you a plan for activity bus replacement. So many of you have heard me talk in many presentations about efficiency in transportation. Efficiency is based, of course, on the amount of buses that we have and the amount of kids that we ride. Due to the numbers in Hertford County falling, in the past 2 years, we've had 10 buses that we've had to place into ESP status. ESP status is when a yellow bus is parked and it no longer runs a regular route. These buses can actually be free of charge to a county and turned into an activity bus at no cost, and the only cost to the county is having these buses painted white. I wanted to give that information to you since we do have 10 buses. There are a couple of those buses that we will talk about later in the presentation that would qualify in our really good buses that I would suggest that we take next year and possibly turn into activity buses. I also wanted to let you know that as of right now, an average cost for a new activity bus is going to range from anywhere between $130,000 to $190,000 depending. I've also reached out to a couple vendors just to give you guys some ideas on some paint schemes and the cost. If we were to take one of those county buses, those yellow buses, and just paint it as you see in the picture, plain white, it would cost us about $9,000. That would be the total cost that the county would have in the bus. We could also, you can get a little technical, paint it all white, repaint the bumpers, the wheels and lights, and you're looking at about $13,000. And it would look like this white bus you see in the picture. And we can get fancy. I know you guys like those pusher buses that we've got out there with the fancy painting on it. So I decided that maybe I should put a fancy bus up there. You could have one of those buses painted like the picture as you see. That costs anywhere between $11,000 and $15,000. If we took a couple yellow buses that are in ESP status and changed them into activity buses, the only cost again to the county would be whatever we choose as far as paint. Okay. Mr. Pitt's going to kind of go over with you today what we've got currently as activity buses, what we've got in ESP status. And I know you guys have seen what I call the bus graveyard out there. There's a couple buses out there and kind of some ideas of what we're doing with those buses so you guys can see what we have.
Before you, Mr. Chairman, may I just quickly, before you transition, what's the mileage on these ESP buses once they come out of service?
You get ready to see.
I'm getting ready.
Get ready, yep, get ready to show you.
Yeah, so
I know it's not over 100,000.
Chair Hall.
One of them's gone to the moon.
Them guys.
The current activity buses that we have now is bus 8027. It's a 1995 International, 300,000 miles. Mechanically in good condition. 8029, it's a 1998 International, 150,000 miles. Possible rear end, engine seal leak, AC overhaul, it's about $8,000 to repair. 8031, 2002 Freightliner, 230,000 miles. Floor repair estimated cost about $7,000. And we just spent about $7,000 on the oil pump and AC repair. 2010 Pusher, bus 8033, it's in the graveyard. 164,000 miles, needs seat repairs, mechanically in good condition. 8034, 2010 Pusher, 152,000 miles. Part has major electrical issues and AC issues that will not pass inspection. 8035, 2011 International, 148,000 miles, mechanically in good condition. 8036, 2018 International, 108,000 miles, mechanically in good condition. 8038, 2018 Chevy minibus, very low mileage, mechanically in good condition. The other yellow buses, county owned, are 8039 is a 1999 Freightliner. It's a yellow bus. It was supposed to be turned into a white bus. Suggested that we leave the bus yellow and use it as a shuttle bus. The 8028 GMC minibus. Shell has major electrical issues and AC work needed, very common for this bus type. 8040 2002 Freightliner. It was previously yellow bus 188, county owned and never painted white, and it's not drivable. Suggestion that we keep for parts as a sister bus to 8038. And the ESP buses, there's a suggestion for new activity buses. It's a 195 2005 Thomas, 200,000 miles, mechanically in good condition. 196 2005 Thomas, 174,000 miles, mechanically in good condition. Bus number 218 is a 2013 Thomas, 200,000 miles, mechanically in good condition. There was a new motor replaced, has about 60,000 miles on it, I'm sorry. Bus number 231, 2015 International, 80,000 miles, mechanically in good condition. And Ms. Quinn will come back. More information.
I
So
do have,
this is our current fleet. You got a
I
question?
do have a question, because
Mhm.
I just don't know. How many miles does a yellow bus normally have on? I don't have a clue I mean, I see these, but like
A
one
yellow
that
bus
runs,
typically has about 250,000 miles is usually when they start to put them into a replacement status.
so we're not looking at anything that's too unreasonable. I mean,
Yeah,
it doesn't
and
look like.
At the very end, I'm gonna kind of talk about that a little bit more.
Okay.
I kind of think that we need to have a plan in place as to mileage and years, what it comes, so that we can get on a replacement schedule with our activity buses. So this is our current fleet. I know you guys like those pushers, but one of those pushers I would suggest that we sell. It does have some mechanical issues. I've reached out across the state. This is something that is actually very, very well known in these pushers. It is something we can fix. Trying to find the part is really hard because most of these pushers have either been sold or have burned up. They're really, really prone to having fires in the back. And it comes from electrical issues. That is why that one that you usually always see parked out at the field, that's why it's parked out at the field. These are actually the yellow buses that I'm kind of suggesting that we put up and change into activity buses. So kind of my thought here is we need to have an activity bus replacement. Like what you were saying, Mr. Shields. A replacement should be about 15 years, 200,000 miles, whichever comes first, okay? Talking with DPI and talking with our inspector for the state, this is what most of our counties in North Carolina are going off of, is a 15-year, 200,000 mile thing. Now, if you go back in the slide and look at the mileage on our activity buses, really and technically what it's saying, if we do that, is we need to sell activity buses 8027, 8029, 8034, and 8031 due to mileage, year, and repair of cost on these buses. Okay. 2024 budget considerations that we should look into is buy 2 new activity buses, and I would take probably 230 or 218. That 218's got high mileage, but it's got a brand new motor in it. It's only got 60,000 miles on that brand new motor that's in that bus. So even though the odometer says one thing, that motor's got something completely different. So it's really low. So I would take 230 and 218 and turn them into white buses. If you do that, you buy 2 new activity buses and you convert those 2 buses into white buses, you're looking at an estimate cost of about $350,000 for 4 buses. versus almost 800,000 if you were to buy 4 new, brand new activity buses. So it'd be about half the cost. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
Are there any questions or comments?
Mr. Chairman, Superintendent. Have you heard of anything coming out of Raleigh about the state going into some agreement with some large financial group to help to replace some of these buses at a lower cost as far as the interest rates on them? Have you heard anything at all about that?
No.
But I won't bring that up then. That'd be.
We'll have to borrow money from you, Mr. Hall.
I mean, if there's if you've heard it and I need to research it, I'll look into it.
I thought I heard that.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
Recently, I thought I heard because.
Now, I do know that a bunch of the vendors have activity buses right now that are sitting on their lots where during COVID, there was a bunch of buses made and they never got bought. So there's a bunch, and they're selling those at the lower end of the 130. Now, as far as interest rates, I ain't got no control over that.
Tell me about, I hear about the motor.
Mhm.
So what about that old transmission sitting under there? How's it?
On that-
300,000, 200,000 miles on.
That bus is actually in really good condition. That bus is probably one of our better buses, to be honest with you, that's parked. When we went through the 10 buses, actually, when Carl was still here, Mr. Cox, me and him went through the 10 buses and I actually had our inspector review the 10 buses. These are the two that with DPI and Mr. Cox and me doing all the research on. These are the two that would be the most highly suggested. There is 2 other ones that are good that I've put on the list, but they're high in mileage. So I would not, to me, I feel like that's a waste of our money. They're at like 175. So
Yeah.
you're only going to get another 25,000 miles out of them.
If you get that.
Yeah.
My question would be then, with these buses that we're talking. How far a range are we talking about in the buses transport?
They can go up to 500 miles away. Mhm. You got to remember when an activity bus is on a straight road. So they're not doing the stop and go, stop and go, stop and go. It's just like, I mean, I tell people all the time, it's just like kind of my car, you know, I don't drive in Greenville no more. I mean, the only place I drive is to Hertford County. So I'm on straight lane road, you know, highway road all day long. So it's not as rough on your car. It's the same thing with the activity buses. That's why, I mean, with an activity bus, it can last longer. I'll be honest with you, there's 2 counties around here that I've went to visit in the last couple days and they still have old Chevrolets that they're running on the road. And I mean, it was a shocker to me because I mean, one of them was as old as I am. So
Any more comments or questions?
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Ms. Gwen, I certainly appreciate this information. I think you've given us some good information to consider. There's no question in our mind that we need to look at this, and we've been discussing this. I like your proposal, to be honest with you. If we've got some good buses out there that we can paint and get good mileage and some service out of it, I'm certainly willing to probably move in that direction. I feel like the board is willing to do that too. Some of our buses are used for shuttle buses and they could be used for that. Right now, we're
Yep.
using those yellow school buses to do that?
yeah, we've got one yellow school bus that's sitting out in the field right now that I guess was bought by the county before I came on. It's a good running bus. And I mean, why spend the money to paint it? Why not just use it for one of our shuttle buses? I've got 2 activity buses in the evening that are doing shuttles for athletics. I mean, to me, those would be the perfect buses to be using for that. Or if you've got some in-county thing going on where, you know, just kids need to go from one school to another. I mean, it can do that. It's not.
Well, I appreciate you giving us this information, something that the board can look at and can consider. As far as I'm concerned, if we can paint some buses or save some dollars, I'd be willing to do that, you all.
What's the, What's the interior look like on those buses?
The
The wear
interior,
and tear on those seats
Yeah.
and all that kind of good
Oh, yeah.
stuff. I don't want our kids traveling up and down the road now
Oh, yeah, well, I agree.
with inside them, the bus look like my car out there.
I
So you can
actually,
see my head in there, what I got.
I actually
I'll-
have a
I'll-
vendor coming in, probably the end of next month that is going through all of our buses and
I was
anything.
thinking,
Yeah, but the seats actually in those buses, those two buses are actually in good shape. The 230 and the 218. Now some of our activity buses, yeah, they need a little tender
Absolutely.
care.
I've seen some of them.
Mm-hmm,
Oh, yeah.
mm-hmm.
We need to do something about that.
Okay. Thank
You're
you.
right. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Ms. Quinn. At this time, we move to 5.2, the MOU agreement with Chowan University. Mr. Cooley.
Right, good evening, Board Chair Eddie Hall, board members and Dr. Pratt. I come before you tonight to present our MOU agreement with Chowan University, and which I understand you guys already have. With that, I ask, do you have any questions?
Are there any questions or comments?
This agreement, Mr. Chairman, is really an emergency use of Chowan facilities if we have a evacuation or something like that. That's what we're talking about.
As well as them being able to use our facility,
For the same.
Them use
our
our,
middle school gymnasium.
okay.
For the
I
same.
just want to know what it is. We're talking about them using ours and now we using theirs. And I think it's a good idea. I think it's a great idea.
It is because years ago they used the little church across the street.
Sure did.
It wasn't enough room
Sure did. You're right.
for traffic north of students.
It's a great idea. The way things are today, the way society is today and what's going on.
Yeah.
Who knows? Lockdown and some everything else. But anyway. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Phillips.
Just a question, I mean, and I think, it was stated, this is, vice versa. We're
Yes,
using theirs and they use ours in case there's an emergency. If there is such an emergency that affects Murfreesboro and a high school, I mean, Murfreesboro Middle School and Chowan, what would they do?
well, we have backup plan.
Okay. Okay, that's
We have
fine.
a backup plan.
There is a backup plan for that.
I don't want to tell everybody, because I want everybody. to
Can't
know
tell
what
you,
it is.
please.
I just want to make sure that
Hear your plan.
that our folk in Murfreesboro, should something take place there, that they would be safe and be able to use their facility as well,
Yes, sir.
and not, have to share their facility with somebody else. Okay,
Yes, sir.
but I like the idea.
If there are no more questions or comments, may I entertain a motion to approve the recommendation of the MOU agreement with Chowan University as presented by administration?
So moved.
Second.
Has been properly second. All in favor, state aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried. Thank you, Mr. Cooley. At this time, the superintendent's report, Dr. Pratt.
Yes, would like to start my presentation this evening with congratulating Mr. Simmons for being named the North Carolina SHAPE Lifetime Achievement Award. And so would like to recognize him for that recognition that he was recognized for at the beginning of this month. So congratulations to Coach Simmons. I also would like to recognize our JRTC program. They received their inspection, which they received a 92.9% last week. And so under the leadership of Chief Cherry, they've done a great job over the last several years in really building a strong JRTC program. And they represented us very well, I think, in all the parades this weekend as well, in leading the pack. And so congratulations to our young men and women, young ladies and the JRTC and Chief Cherry. We also are beginning exams, believe it or not. Early college will have their Math 3 exam tomorrow, EOC. High school will begin their exams in January the 22nd, 23rd, 24th. And then CS Brown will have 2 days of testing in January 24th and 25th. And so we're wrapping up the first quarter of the school year and beginning the process of planning for exams to be administered in January. And then we had a lot of community events this weekend. And so last week, December the 7th, we had several schools participate in the Murfreesboro Parade. And on Saturday, there was several parades. Ahoskie had theirs, Cofield and Winton had a parade that our kids represented in. It was good to see the community out supporting everyone who participated in the parades around the county. We also gave out a flyer that was created by Laird Johnston. It's a student of the early college, I believe, on attendance. And so you have that flyer there that she created, and we also passed out to our families this weekend around attendance and the importance of attendance and being in school. And then just like to wish everyone a very happy winter break. Take the opportunity to spend some time with your family and also take care of yourself. And so we'll be back in school on January the 3rd. And then we'll recognize Martin Luther King Day on the 15th. And the end of second quarter is January the 26th. And we have a teacher work day on the 29th. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Dr. Pratt.
Chair Hall.
At this time, we'll have board comments. Ms. Porter.
I would just like to commend the JROTC. I thought that was a great inspection. I saw the posted outside and then I saw the information on so I would like to see them at the board meeting also. And a good job for them.
We can make it happen.
Okay. All right, I also wish you a very relaxed holiday season. Get some rest, stay safe. Most of all, enjoy your family and friends. Have a good. And thank you for everything that you have done, Ms. Seabury, your reports, Dr. Pratt. Looks very positive. Thank you so much. Central office administrators, your staff, everybody. Thank you, Mr. Hall.
Yes, ma'am, Ms. Porter. Mr. Shields.
I'd like to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I also, the information we got tonight was great. I really think it's the collaboration between not only the community college, but also Chowan University. It's really great to see the public schools and our two colleges in the area collaborate between each other. And I think the program, Dr. Pratt, that with our students that are struggling with our traditional schools, I think that's a great opportunity for our young people. Once again, we need to shout it from the mountaintop what we're doing in Hertford County Public Schools, because that this program would not go if it hadn't been pushed, I'm sure, by us. And I'm thankful that the community college took on the thing too. But the leadership that Hertford County Public Schools does for Hertford County as a whole is outstanding. Ms. Porter, thank you for your leadership. It's been great, and you set the bar high for Mr. Hall, but I'm sure he's up to the task. And congratulations, Eddie Spaghetti. That's what I used to call him when he was in school with my son. That was a long time ago, wasn't it, Mr. Hall? but
ain't no spaghetti there.
no,
A long time ago.
but anyway, and really Merry Christmas, and I hope everyone has a great Christmas.
I just wanted to say, congratulations, Mr. Hall.
Thank you.
I've really enjoyed working with you. And we've developed a great relationship. I enjoyed your transparency and your concern, everything. With you, Dr. Pratt, it's been a wonderful year.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
Thank you for your leadership as well.
Thank you. Mrs. Deloach.
Thank you. In addition to everything's been said, I certainly want to thank Ms. Porter. She's been chair for a number of years now, bless her heart. She's done an excellent job. She's kept us all, kept the men folks straight. You all understand what I'm saying. But certainly want to wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And sometimes we don't realize why we come to meetings. We learn a lot. I didn't know about Mr. Hall there. Eddie's, what do you say? Eddie's spaghetti. But anyway, you see why you're the board meeting now. But seriously, I want you to have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take this time to enjoy your families, enjoy the holidays, and do some of those things that you don't have a chance to do. But also let us remember those who are less fortunate. You know, we work in the school system, all of us, we have salaries, we have jobs. I mean, we have jobs, we got salaries. But believe me, there are some people out there who are less fortunate. So if you can, you know, somewhere in this process, try to help some child, somebody along the way. And most of all, I would say, let's not forget the real reason for the season. So enjoy it, but be blessed, and hopefully we'll return in January. Thank you, and have a good one.
Vice Chair, Mr. Wendell Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I also want to echo the comments made by my fellow board members concerning the leadership that Ms. Porter provided this board over the last 4 or 5 years.
Yes.
I know, it's been so long, Ms. Porter, I didn't
Been a
know.
long time.
But I know it's 5 years at least that you have provided leadership to this board. You carried us through 2 superintendent searches. I know. And I appreciate you for that and your professionalism as you conducted that. If not 3, it might be 3 superintendents that you have led this board through. 4?
No.
Oh, I'm. No, now it is. We may get our share.
It's off.
But I want to thank her for that publicly, proudly and professionally for the job, a well job done. And I think Mr. Deloach had alluded to the fact, and working with four not heads up here and keeping us together. She deserves all the accolades.
Oh, yeah.
For where we are. And when you look at those test scores, of course, your leadership plays into that also, Ms. Porter. And I personally thank you. Thank you for your willingness to call me after 10 o'clock and discuss issues. You're just a gem, And I'm not saying you walk on water, but you're close to it, huh? You're close to it. And I thank you for it. I want to say this quickly, and I'm a stickler on it. Parents, please send your children to school. Prepare to learn. Send your children to school. I hope that's on Channel 19. I hope it's on YouTube and everything else. We want your kids in school so we can educate them. We will feed them. We will house them. We will keep them as safe as we possibly can. Send your child to school each and every day, and you'll be surprised what the end of the year the results will be. Because we have the staff out there to do it. We have the people who are concerned about your child, but we can't teach your child unless he or she is in school, in that seat, well behaving and ready for instruction to occur. And I want to say that. I want to use my time tonight, though, to, I've been away from it a little bit, talking about the state board and what the state board, I'm gonna tell you that the state board is rolling now. We're moving into a new year, but there's a lot of things that's coming down the pike as we look at the next school year and some actions taken recently by the state board. The state board met the first Wednesday and Thursday of this month for a 2-day meeting as we normally do in Raleigh. The state board voted to support the recommendations of Charter School Advisory Council to close a charter school called CZAL, which is the only charter school in the state that I was told that only had boys, only one. But because of some financial issues and some other things, the Charter School Reserve Board decided to close it. By law now, charter schools appeal that to the state board. The state board voted this week to accept the review board, the Charter School Review Board, and will close Savvy, it's called, December 30. Yes, it's right around the corner, but the state board decided to move quickly and get this issue over. It was due to low enrollment also. It also accepted the recommendation from the CSAB not to approve a charter school for Heritage Collegiate Leadership Academy, WAKE. The leadership of this new charter school is the same leadership that was provided to Three Rivers over in adjoining county, and that came on next. The Charter School Review Board recommended that they not be offered a new charter, and the state board voted unanimously to accept that, and we'll just see where that ends up if it should go to court. But the law says the final authority of the state board. It also voted to suspend funding for Maggie's Outreach, a 21st Century grant. That we used to have a 21st Century program here. If you remember, it was over at the Hosky Elementary School. We haven't had it in some years now, but Maggie's Outreach was voted to cease operations effective September 24-25 school year because of enrollment and some other issues. You might say, well, that's all y'all did was turn down people. No, that's not all we did, but there were some things that had to be done at the state level. The board did hear from our state superintendent of public instruction, Ms. Truitt, Superintendent Truitt, that the reading scores for grades 1 through 3, which I thought I was going to see more of that tonight, has increased as a result of, at this point, the benchmark, as a result of the science of reading, letters, that all of our teachers are trained in now. And by the way, that program costs the state of North Carolina $110 million. Hopefully, we're going to see the fruits of that work that was done by our teachers. Ms. Truitt, Superintendent Truitt, firmly believes that it's because of the intervention of using the science of reading. We will see the results down the road. I asked earlier from the superintendent about the computer courses now, effective 24-25 school year. All entering 9th grade students would have to have completed a computer level course as a part of their diploma. And there's 150 courses that's out there that you can get a copy of. And some of our computer classes are already doing it. They already meet those standards. But just to let you know, 24-25, every student who graduates, well, after 24-25, will have to have this computer course. It's one of the 22 units that the state is requiring for a diploma to be issued. We did also fund the advanced teachers role. And we have that project here. The state board did approve the funding of those grantees for another term. And what that term is, I really was a 2-year, 3-year, or 1 year. But we did, along with some other items that went along with it. I myself, I have to say it, I recused myself from voting on it because of some other issues that were tied to it at this point in time. So, but it is a good program, and it won the teacher advance for teacher role. That's another item that was tied to it. The state board is interested in our school reforms, the 4 models. We are beginning to have some concerns about whether the models are being effective or not. We did hear from Rowan Salisbury School, who's been in a restart for about 5 years now, 5 or 6 years. And the state board is concerned, along with others, of whether or not these programs are being implemented with fidelity and with strong intent. The one thing about the restart model that we are hearing is that with all the flexibility, there are two issues that's causing a lot of concern with that particular model. It's the calendar, the flexibility with the school calendar, and the flexibility with personnel funding. Because everything is put in one bowl now, and the system has to decide. Those two areas is causing a great concern with those units. And about 150 schools across the state who are still into this particular reform model. The last thing on my agenda tonight to report has to deal with the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. We saw some of our kids in here tonight. As you well know, legislation has changed now, and the North Carolina High School Athletic Association comes under the state board. The state board just now has more control, has taken more control over the High School Athletic Association, the laws, the bylaws. Understand there's a new sheriff in town, and it's called the General Assembly. And they are really pushing to have some things change with student eligibility, NIL, name, image, and likeness. That you hear some of these students, these athletes is making millions and millions and millions of dollars in college with it. But the state in law says that there will be no high school students instead of North Carolina athletes with an NIL contract right now. And with that being said, I wish everyone a safe, happy, and a self-fulfilling Christmas holiday season. And we know what it's all about. It's not how many toys you can bring in the room. It's not how many new outfits you can put on. It's celebrating the life and the birth of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, at this time. Let us all be thankful for what we have. And I think Mr. Deloach even said it. You know, some do not have. And we have to be thankful for them also that they will have, and whatever we can do. And the phrase, am I my brother's keeper? I'll let you answer that. Am I my brother's keeper? Thank you, Mr. Superintendent, for your job that you've done thus far. And I will say openly, we don't always agree, but we're in the same boat. We might not have ventured over here on the same boat, but we're going back on it. Okay. So y'all laugh, you know what I'm saying. But I thank you. I thank you for your job that you are doing for us. The job that you will do. Your role is not the easiest role, because everything buck stops at that plaque that says Dr. Pratt. And I thank you for it. I did have opportunity to have dinner with a friend of yours last week, who helped design Dudley High School. He was an architect.
Yes, yes.
For Dudley High School. He didn't tell me everything about you. He told me just enough to say, yeah, that's the baby that we chose to lead our system.
Right.
Chair Hall, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. And I do said to you, I pledge to you as vice chair of this board to do all that I can to continue to move the board forward. That Ms. Porter has charted the way for us. And I thank my board for allowing me to serve in this role. And I'll leave it at that. Thank you, sir. Thank you. And thank you for all that you do for our 2,500, 2,600.
Yes.
I won't say 3,000 so bad, but I knew it's not 3. But
We're close.
K-12 students in this great county. And by the way, this is a great county. Let nobody fool you. I won't be able to, Well, I won't be there to see one of our people walk across the stage. I think it's Friday.
Hmm.
One of our folk will be walking across the
Yes,
stage. And,
it is.
yeah, I think it's Friday.
Best.
Yeah, hey, great things happen to great people in great positions. We will have another doctor in our county in education.
And I commended her in private, but
I did.
give you the pledge.
Okay, thank you. I should have given you the privilege. Yes, sir. Ain't no be feeling shame. You work for it.
You
That ain't
work
shame.
hard, you earned it.
Thank you, board members. Certainly, I do echo everything that was said tonight, and to the board, thank you for the opportunity to serve as chair. I do take it as a humble move, and I pledge to keep the same transparency and trust that we've established in moving this board forward. To Ms. Porter, thank you for your leadership that you have given to us, at least for me. Being the newbie on the board when I came on, it was good establishing a relationship with you, and I've learned a lot and continue to learn as well. And for that, I'm grateful and thankful for that. In addition, also congratulations also to Coach Simmons, but also want to extend my condolences to Coach Simmons and his son, Mr. Evan Simmons, for the passing of the mother and grandmother last week. Certainly our prayers and support with the family at this time. Congratulations to Dr. Watford for your accomplishment. And we are so proud of everything that you're doing as well. One thing I do want to highlight, I really enjoyed seeing all of you in the Christmas parades last weekend. I feel like I'm all paraded out. But it was good to see the staff, the students, the parents, and everybody engaged. And we had a great presence in those parades as well. And to see all the smiles and the floats and the decorations on Facebook and social media, it was a good thing to see in our community. Also, I want to say Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and also Happy New Year, because when we return, it'll be 2024. And 2023 has really gone past us quite fast. To our students who will be taking exams tomorrow, make sure you get a good night's rest. Our thoughts and prayers are with you, as well as we go through our final exam season and we're ending the first semester strong. Just want to say thank you to everyone for all that you do each and every day. It's good to see your smiling faces. No, we don't know all the battles that you go through every day, but we are appreciative and we cannot tell you that enough. And for that, our next meeting, I believe, is January the 22nd, 2024. Closed session begins at 5:30, open session at 7 p.m. At this time, I'll entertain a motion for adjournment. Second. Probably second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Meeting adjourned. Thank you.